Do, 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 do. Should have had a different pen in my hand. Maybe I'll grab one here. Oh, there we go. That looks like 16 bytes per second, but it's 1 gigabyte per second. Who's proud of the 720p stream? It was 1080 a moment ago, but I had to stop and start over because I kept losing the connection. Because I have a gigabit down, and like maybe, I don't know, a nanobit up, something like that. So check this out. The funny thing about all of this is that I actually have a pretty pro stream going on right now. I have all of the Blackmagic stuff set up. Have some color correction. I think I look all right. I have dog hair on my shirt. I think that my stream is actually of higher quality than Alex Jones. Great. So, as promised, first of all, before doing anything else, I have to thank my patrons from Patreon. This stream is for them. This is a Patreon stream, and I put a poll on my Patreon page saying, what should I do with my stream? Do you want it to be private? Do you want it? And they said, overwhelmingly, most of them said that they want it to be public and that information should be free. So you are watching a stream that they are financing. And so thank you, Patreon people. Speaking of Patreon people, I have a couple questions from them once a week, and I'm going to answer those questions. I'll do that first before getting into this wonderful Microfreak. All right. First question. Well, not first, but I'm reading them in this order. As an FL Studio power user, which I am, I'm actually on their page as a power user. I have been for like 15 years or something. Are there any stock plugins you love or tend to use frequently? And why is it SoundGoodizer? I have probably never opened SoundGoodizer. I assume that it's just a limiter, like a sausage fattener type thing. If you remember that plugin that was popular back in the day when dubstep started becoming big. Everybody would just slam everything through a brick wall, and it sounded like absolute turd to anybody who's a sound engineer, but it sounded great to most people who, just heard something that sounded compressed. I like Harmor. Harmor is brilliant. I've been wanting to do a video on Harmor for ages, and the reason I haven't done a video on Harmor, the reason I haven't done any FL Studio videos, really, is because there's so much to cover. There's another thing that I want to do a video on, the Yamaha montage, for example, and there's just so much to cover with a montage. You can't just like do a quick montage video. It has to be like a series or something. So I need to pick and choose. But Harmor is probably the most impressive thing going on in FL Studio, in my opinion, other than the piano roll and just the odd way of organizing things that actually, once you get used to it, you get a very quick workflow. I'm trying to think of other things. Citrus, the presets are just not good in Citrus, but as an FM synth, you can make some really powerful things with it. I think that you could make a really good album with FL Studio with just this, if you got like the XXL bundle. I think that there's nothing stopping you from making an amazing album with just that. So yeah, Harmor would be my number one though. Next question. The Chase Bliss CXM 1978 reverb has caused quite a stir. I know where this is going. They have never contacted me and sent me one. I don't have enough money to buy one just for doing a review, unfortunately. If Chase Bliss, if you're watching, which I doubt you are, I suppose if you watched my channel, you probably would have sent me one by now, because you would have seen all the comments of people asking me to review it and run my little reverb app through it and analyze the algorithms, as reverb's kind of my fetish. Yeah, so if they send me one, I will absolutely do it. I have wondered myself if it is one of those things where everybody's making such a stink about it because it's like the most expensive reverb pedal that's ever existed, and they just... And I'm not even like insulting somebody who would think this. I'm saying that if you spend $800, how much is it? It's like $900 or something. If you spend that much money on a reverb pedal, your ears are automatically going to be happy when you hear it. You know, even if when you spend that much money on a pedal, even if it was like a Rat Shack reverb from Radio Shack or something, if you got that sound out of it, you'd be like, oh, interesting. This is pretty springy. I like it. Or is it actually brilliant algorithms? I don't know. I don't have one here. But if they want to send one over, I'd be more than happy to do a proper review and put it up against the Empress, which is currently my favorite reverb. Second favorite reverb, Specular Tempest. Still holding it down. I haven't even updated to the most recent firmware yet. But this is the best value reverb in my opinion. Next question. What would it take to orchestrate a MIDI-synced live jam session with as many patrons wanting to hook up their gear, modulars, outboard gear sequencers as wanted? And then there are some answers to this about latency and about how it wouldn't work. I disagree with those answers about how it wouldn't work. There is one way that I think it would work, and that is with Endless, with Tim Exile's Endless. I want to talk to Tim. Tim's a good friend of mine. I've known him forever. I'm going to talk to Tim, and I'm going to ask him. Endless exists for iPad and Mac. They just released the Mac desktop version. I am getting cornered just through this channel and different companies that like I occasionally do beta testing for and stuff. I'm being kind of cornered into eventually owning an M1 chip computer, which will probably be like a Mac Mini or something because I don't like need a laptop. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I would absolutely love to do an Endless jam, and I'd like to talk to Tim to see if I could get maybe a discount for my patrons or something like that. Yeah, I know at one point we were talking about doing something to get people to get like a free trial if they were in line voting, but then I just thought to myself, like, not that many people have iPads that have like the 4G chip in it or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, see if there's any other questions here. Oh, there are quite a few, I think. Ooh, this one's good. What are your thoughts on the term IDM? Well, would you use it to describe your music as a flashbulb? I personally would not. My thoughts on the term are probably very, very specific, because the term was invented by Warp Records in the late 90s to describe their own music that they were, the music that they were releasing from Autiker, Aphex Twin, and so on. I think the words kind of here, two things. I think the word IDM, intelligent dance music, I think it's silly, right? I think it's just kind of silly. I think the argument over the word is even sillier. Like, I think people constantly saying, like, how could dance music be intelligent? Well, it's a genre name. Not all genre names make sense. Rockabilly doesn't, it's not, there's not billy goats in it, or there's not, I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, so I don't really care. I feel if somebody asks me what kind of music I make, I usually say all sorts, because that's what I do. I make all sorts. I'm not a big fan of genres. I would not consider the flashbulb. I would say that, like, yeah, if you were to describe IDM, I guess I've definitely made a lot of IDM, I suppose, things in IDM, but most of my albums have something that goes to jazz or mixes IDM with something else. I just don't like thinking in genres, because that's probably the most restrictive thing you can do with writing music, is to think of genres. To sit down and say, I'm going to make a future track. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to make an EDM track, a house track. Like, sitting down and doing that, you're really limiting yourself in a terrible way. and I know that that's how a lot of electronic musicians start to make music. They sit down and they say, I'm going to make a track of this genre. My brain can't work that way. I recommend sitting down and saying, I'm going to make a track that sounds good, and I'm going to think about genres. I'm going to let other people think about genres when they're trying to categorize it on, their Spotify playlists or whatever. I'm probably missing something. Load more comments. Oh, I think I got them all. Yeah. Good. Cool. This video, I'm already doing it this week. I'm going to warn you. I've been stressed out. I've just had a lot going on. Nothing, I'm not dying or anything, but Lucy my dog had to have a little minor operation, but she's just been, that takes a lot of time out of your day to like take care of a dog that's recovering from an operation. And I think she's okay, so we're good. But that just on top of a bunch of other things. And so I'm going to have a lot of brain farts today. Get ready for that. This is not going to be the best, most brilliant performance of mine, probably. And that's fine. I'm down to crash. So we have a Microfreak update. And it's kind of funny because I didn't realize how popular the Microfreak was, because I woke up today and there was a bunch. The moment before the embargo happened, there's already like 20 videos like on this Microfreak 3.0 update. It has new oscillator modes from the developers over at Noise Engineering, which is pretty awesome. And I have not really checked it out at all, and I just want to bring you through with it. Here I am. Nope. There we go. Did my Canon shut off? Oh, you fucker, you did. Should I not swear in my streams? All right. Canon with the auto shut off mode. All right. Remember how I was like bragging about how professional this was going to be? Well, there that goes. Let me turn that clean. Thanks, Canon. Good job. Good job, M50. There's actually a YouTuber who uses the M50 who's been asking me for recommendations to get away from it, and I'm like, why? It's a decent camera. But it's nothing like this here, Blackmagic, that is looking at me. This is a good camera. All right. So let's check this out. I'm going to check the stream comments really fast to make sure that I am all right. Yeah, okay. Wonderful. I'm glad Lucy's getting the support that she deserves. So here we are, Microfreak. This is the first of the new presets. I actually like that the Microfreak is just a mono out, because then you can actually hook, I like the idea of hooking it up to other things. Let's record a pattern. I haven't used this in a bit. Oh, there already is one. All right, so let's actually go to a blank preset and let's check out these oscillators. Ooh, there's a lot of presets here. Actually, I believe that I could put myself in the corner here, can't I? There I am. Look at me. Hi. Yeah, okay. Oh, are we trapped in a... Do I not know what I'm doing? Maybe not. Let me look really fast. I seem to be, scale. There we go. Global. Off. There we go. I was wondering why everything sounded so... Okay, so this says bass, but you know how this works. The type of oscillators. So where are the new ones? There it is. Got a bass one. I think we could do a little... Not bad. Let's hear it. I feel like it's so easy to forget how brilliant of a synth the Microfreak is, like for what it is. And I passed up on it. I remember the first time when it first came out, I actually was like, no, I'm really busy. I don't have time to cover it. And then last year at NAMM, I just played with it because I was at the Arteria booth and I was just like, this thing's amazing. I can't. And I immediately was like, can you please send one over now? And it has been, yeah, it's such a fun synth. It's so unique, and I really hope that they keep producing things along this series because, by the way, has anybody seen that person who modified his, I saw a Reddit post on our synthesizers. Somebody modified theirs on a wooden case, and it's like it's, oh my God, it's beautiful. You got to see it. It's really nice. Make sure that my stream condition's good. All right. Okay, so there was a question about this one being a different update than the one with the vocoder. Yes, this is brand spanking new. It just came out today. Or was like, the embargo was released today. The update came out last week. Or for us YouTubers, we got our hands on it a little early. Yeah, there's the vocoder. Actually, I thought this had the vocoder already. I don't know. To be honest, I've never tried it out. I guess I will have to. Okay, let's try a new initialized preset. And let's try another one of these new oscillators. Let's make something cool. A saw X. It's nasty. Well, now we gotta bind a LFO to that wave. That was stupid of me. Yeah, it is 720p for everybody. Well, now I've blocked it, but yeah. Comcastic. Ooh, that's nice. Sounds beautiful. As far as the Zoya versus the Tempest, this anti-shimmer algorithm is really what sold me on the Tempest. I have made some similar things on the Zoya. The Zoya is really as good as you are at making presets. Lucy's chilling back there. I'm gonna keep checking on her. Somebody asked Lucy, Lucy just had a little lump on the roof of her mouth. She had to have it removed. And then she got her teeth cleaned. When a dog, for those who don't own dogs, or for those who don't own dogs, small dogs have to get their teeth cleaned a lot more. They have to put the dog under to clean their teeth. And, like, it's brutal. Like, it's really crazy. Like, it, like, puts the dog down for a couple days. Like, the dog's just... And so she got that, and then she got the lumps burned off. And, yeah, so it's minor surgery, but she's I know Lucy is like the most popular dog in the world. Thank God, she deserves it. Maybe if she comes out and says hi to me and awakes from her nap, I will bring her up and show everybody her progress. She has a swollen face. It's so sad. Enough. New preset. Yeah, as far as the keyboard comments go, I was turned off at first when I first saw this. That was one of the reasons I was turned off. I was like, this is just not. It's fine. It's totally fine. I mean, obviously, it's not. It's like as good as a keyboard this size, even if it had normal buttons. I don't. Yeah, it doesn't have like velocity. Actually, it might have. Let me look through the utilities real fast. I mean, this keyboard may have like some sort of mic setting. Yeah, I need to figure this out. This keyboard may have some sort of like setting that I'm not really familiar with, or some sort of feature that I'm not aware of. But let's check out harmonic. Let's do this. Wish I had a metronome. I forgot that this LFO was tricky. How much is the Specular Tempest? Let me find out for everybody. $349. I don't think that's bad at all, man. Also, let me see if they have released it yet. Yeah, there's also GFI has also released the Synesthesia pedal, which has some pretty nice reverbs and stuff. This is sort of like a delay and reverb mixed pedal, and Synesthesia also that they have like vibrato and flanger and octave shift and things like that actually sound good with like modulating a reverb. Yeah, I'm all for the Specular Tempest. Again, the reason I'm not using an Empress reverb is because it's upstairs. This is just one that I have hooked up to my modular. The Empress reverb, honestly, is one that comes around with me a little bit more often, and I just brought it upstairs yesterday to test something out. And so I was like, well, let's give the Specular Tempest a ride. I think that there's... Let me make like a quick... I mean, if you're more interested in this pedal, I have a full video on it that compares it to the Empress. What I look for in a reverb algorithm, let me just try and get like a non-pattern patch here. Let me just get a little blast. Surely we have noise somewhere, right? Some sort of noise sound. There we go. Perfect. Can we make this as loud as possible? Okay, whatever. That'll do. Nope. What did I do? All right. Okay. So let's hear this. It's a pretty impressive algorithm. What you have with these newer reverbs, the Empress one's a mystery to me still, and this one, if you know, let's use the infinity algorithm here. What happens here, and it's impressive that they do this on whatever board they're using. I've never opened this up, but you know, it's obviously just using a low-level board. It's not using like an Intel chip or something. And what happens is it runs a reverb algorithm that very cleverly then merges into a specular freeze, or a spectral freeze rather. Yeah, so you just sort of have this, it's almost like what Clouds does on the modular, but probably more grains happening. Anyway, that's my theory. Yeah, the Ventress is up there too, definitely. Ventress reverb is excellent. Those are like the top I haven't tried that 1978 one yet, but the Ventress one is certainly on top of the list of reverbs. It's like my number 3 or something. I haven't tried the new, what's that new guy? The Night Sky. Honestly, the Strymon reverbs, it's suicidal for me to say this, but I'm not a fan. Algorithms sort of fall apart in the late tails. But again, this is like psychotic of me, right? Like, nobody should be this concerned about reverb. It's just one of those things. I'm a huge snob over reverb. So, okay. So where the Specco or Tempest? It's kind of funny. Whenever I do any video, it always becomes about the reverb. No matter what I'm covering, I could be covering like this, AI robot going through reverb, and you guys would be like, "Wow, let's hear about the reverb." Let me play an oscillator. Maybe just use a preset. The shimmer. So I kind of hate shimmer, to be honest. I'm not a big shimmer fan until I got the Specco or Tempest. And then I was like, oh, this is good shimmer. This will be fine for what I want to do. All right. So check out this shimmer. Yeah, not bad, eh? All right, let's just make some patches here. Let's go back to this Microfreak. All right. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Microfreak, can you see these okay? Make sure this is all in focus. With my blazing 720p resolution. All right. So these are the different types of oscillators we have all together. Basic waves. And that's just kind of like a wave table of your most basic waves. Super wave. By the way, if you want to see a video on the Microfreak, I've already made one. Just a refresher for anybody who's not familiar with it. This is like a super wave, just a bunch of waves that are detuned. These are all digital oscillators, obviously, as you can read here. There's a wave table. These are different tables. Pretty badass sounding. Harmonic. You don't really have enough control to make additive synthesis work the way that you normally would, but this is still fun to play with. Just play with the fundamental of it. Car Plus Strong, that's like string emulator. This one's not the best, to be honest. Yeah, that ain't fooling anybody. I feel like there could have been a couple different ideas explored with this, but it still is a Car Plus Strong. Is it a proper one? Yeah. Okay. Virtual analog, I think. I don't know, maybe it stands for something else. Then we start getting into the mutable instruments. Oh yeah, sorry, there's a 2-operator FM. Formant. These have some of the open source oscillators from the Platts or plates modules from Mutable, which is great, which a lot of synths have now. Yeah. Reading some of the comments. Wow, 232 concurrent viewers and 99 likes. I'm like that ninja guy on Fortnite. Not at all. I need a gaming chair. I need like a really proper gaming chair that has like the streak down the side, maybe some fire on it. These water bottles. I'm not going to show you this brand. No way, sir. I really do like these water bottles, and I like the orange flavoring. I wonder what brand I'm using. I don't know. Wonder what it would take for me to disclose the brand that I'm using. Just kidding. It's an Allgene, and it's made in the USA. And, yeah, okay. I'll actually answer questions about this. My chair, by the way, it's funny because I've talked about this like 5 times, and I get emails about people recommending chairs to me, which I appreciate. But it's funny. I'm from the ghetto. I'm never going to spend more than $250 on a computer chair. Actually, I lied. I think this one was like $300. And this one, I was like, this one's going to last me like 4 months. This one's proper. I bought a chair for obese nurses, meaning like that it's always going to be sat in and stood up from. Like it's going to be very high use and constantly. And it was made for obese people. So it was like a nurse chair for like a hospital for an obese person. So it was rated up to like 700 pounds. I don't know what person is actively getting up and out of a chair that weighs 700 pounds. But I had that one, and that one was really heavy. It was like 100 and something pounds, and it had all this extra room, so my dog would just lay in there as a sidecar. It was miserable to like get around anywhere if I had to scoot it from one place to another. But the fabric ended up all ripping on it, and so it's still in my garage. I still like use it for, occasionally sitting if I'm working on something out there, but that was the most intense chair I've ever purchased. And now I just sort of glide between them and try and buy extended warranties that usually aren't honored. Yeah, I know that most of the gaming chairs are crappy. I know that they're not very ergonomic at all. Okay, anyway, there was a legitimate question that I was going to... Not that the other questions aren't legitimate, but there was one that I actually wanted to... Oh, yeah. Asking if this is poly. it's paraphonic. So let's move forward to another. This is modal. Yeah, this is mutable instruments here. So anyway, if we wanted to add some sustain to this, hit that paraphonic button and we got... I think that with this new firmware, we have 4 poly in paraphonic. I wonder if they're... Actually, I've never... Yeah. This way you could just hit them all in unison. You guys like that? My secret... I had no idea you could do this until now. I don't know how to... If I do this, it's just going to change the preset. I've fallen for that a million times. Maybe if I just hold this down. Unison spread. How do I spread that unison? Nope, that's swing. Alright, I'm going to hit the preset, and I know what it's going to do. Oh, it does it. Okay. Every time I touch that preset knob, it just changes the preset and always boots me out of what I'm working on. Wow, nice. Now we have 4 modal like this. I bet we could get this to sound, well, maybe not, but I'd like to get this to sound like a cymbal, a crash cymbal. We would need some noise, probably. Oh my god, I am so dumb. I am so sorry. I need a monitor in front of me. This is my next little project. I need a monitor right in front of me that just has my chat. Like just bloop, like a teleprompter right in front of me. And then that way when I do stupid shit like that, when I'm like demoing, you're not just looking at my fat face looking down, right? I could actually see somebody say in the chat, "Hey, stupid, switch your cameras." But I'm gonna get better at this multiple camera thing, I promise. It's my first time doing it officially on an actual stream, other than just practicing. Anyway, you can't hear the synth, really? All right. Okay, so anyway, moving forward. Noise, we've already done that. And then these new bass ones. Vocoder. I'm gonna unplug it, aren't I? I don't know where the input is on the vocoder. I've never used the vocoder. I have a VP770 like right over there, so I've never I like don't bother with vocoders as long as I have that thing in my studio, because it's just like the most intense vocoder in the world. All right, so what oscillator do you want me to play with? I'm gonna play. Do you want me to play with one of the new ones? Do you want me to play with classic one? Oh, yeah, never mind. It's not up to you. It's up to me. I'm gonna play with the vocal one. I love the vocal one. Let's just reset this. Everything's all bendy. What's going on? Is this the camera that I need to adjust? Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. I'm looking at everything sideways. got it. Okay, so let's see what else.
Frequency, 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 patch, sequencer, sequencer, waveform, machine, digital, analog, 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 A, C, H, J, P, R.
Ooh, let's put a random sample and hold on the shape. Oh no, can we not? We have to do an assigner, don't we? Otherwise it's just the timbre. Forgot what my assignments are. Do.
Q, 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 R, 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 P, O, Q.
Ah, that's right.
Q, Q. Q. Q.
Alright, so now that LFO.
O, N, U, C, B, C, B, C, 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 A, C, B, C, C, A, N, O, A, B, G, A, C, 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 G, A, Y, C, 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 P, W, X, J, C, 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 G, R, C, A, C, B, A, B, Y, Y, R, C, Q, L, H, A, W, C, N, O, A, C, 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 F, N,
Let's get a new reverb algorithm.
Y, Y.
Voices, alright. Perfect. I don't think it's what I want exactly, but
N, A, S, X,
wow.
A, S, R, W, S. C, C,
was... You know what? All right, so to some person, to explain how this patch works, there's a voice synthesizer from the plates module, from the mutable instruments plates module, and that's essentially what the oscillator is it's just these these words, and I am randomizing the words that are being used. I assigned this assign one, I assigned it to the shape of the oscillator, which is changing the words within the category. And then I have a random, it's like a sample and hold, but without being connected to like a square wave to the gate. I don't know your level of synth expertise. I may be like just talking gibberish at this point. But it's sort of it's a sample and hold that is looser, if that makes sense. It's more randomy. So it's sort of just randomizing things on the beat, randomizing the words. And then I just played a quick pattern and slowed it down. So it's just playing the chords that I already played. And then it's going through this anti-shimmer reverb. Very shortly before this stream, I thought about getting a mixer and like getting a little drum machine or something, because I knew that I would inevitably want to put drums to this. But if I did that, I'm not going to do it now because it would take me a minute to set up. But had I done that, I would have never gotten around to this bad boy, which is coming up next, which is a tiny, tiny tracker that fits in your pocket. And I have number 48 out of 100. And I am a noob at it. It isn't... you'll see it in a moment. Let's stick at the task at hand. Yeah, right. Yeah, I could use the tracker as drums as well, but I would need another input to plug it into, so that's why I'm not doing that. And again, I felt like it would have just turned into a jam rather than showcasing these products, which is cool, which is something I will do in the future. I do want to do jams. I'm getting some new synths in the studio. I have like some upstairs and floating around, and I definitely want this stream setup to kind of be a permanent location, because this was actually a big pain in the butt to set up. And I want it to be kind of a permanent location where I can just bring things in and jam. That'd be really fun, wouldn't it? The Microfreak has CV out. It has clock in and MIDI in. But it has CV gate out, or CV gate and pressure out. It doesn't have CV in. Yeah, the jam thing I do want to do. And also, like, the modular behind me, I have, like, camera mounts back there, so I definitely plan on doing a lot of modular jams. Especially, you know what? Oddly enough, some of the stuff I'm being sent lately is, like, phenomenal things that I would never, ever be able to afford on my own. Especially coming up in the future, some synths and stuff, and it's funny because I don't know why. I don't know if modular companies just don't have that many modules to send out, if just because they're generally lower overhead, or if there's some sort of phenomenon where if you get over a certain amount of subscribers, modular companies just assume you don't want to work with them. Just because, you know, the demographic isn't as big, and if I do a video on a module, it's typically not going to get that many views in comparison to a full-end synthesizer from a bigger company. But if anybody's watching who is a part of a modular company, I want more modules. I want to grow my modular, and I want to try and make it more accessible, especially if you have modules that are low cost. That's a big thing for me. Like, if I had the time, I would make my own modular synth and sort of show people how to do that, because I feel like the big problem for everybody is the initial investment, which is very considerable. Okay, so for a moment, we're just gonna look at me, and then we can go back to this. I forgot which button I had. I am going to go wee-wee. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna check on Lucy. If I were smart, I would mute my mic. I'm back. My screen of chats is over here, so I'm like, just gonna max and relax. I'll check out that company in York Modular. Yeah, so modular, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, like, I don't think that modular is that prohibitively expensive when you sort of consider, like I feel like all hobbies are expensive. like modular, in my opinion, is less expensive than photography. Like photography, if you were to get like a new Sony A7R4 and 3 kit lenses, you're $10K down, like you're done. And that's just a solid setup to take pictures of national parks or portraits, or, you know, if you're a wedding photographer, then you have to add in all the batteries and flashes and things like that. And yeah, I mean, just as an example, or I've gotten to mountain biking recently, and I mean, whew, man, I have like, I have a low-end bike, but it was still way more than I would be comfortable spending usually. But, you know, the fact that I haven't paid a gym membership in a year due to the pandemic. I've been able to make it work. But so the thing about modular and money is you get to a certain place, I think, with your modular where you don't constantly need something anymore. Like you have enough LFOs or VCAs or whatever it is. And the only time you really want something new is when a really new innovative module is announced or comes out. And then it just becomes like anything. It's just like normal synthesis or normal synthesizers or any other music gear. I think it's just that first leap when like you get a case and it gets really addictive because you'll be like, all right, I got an oscillator, I got a filter, I got an ADSR, I have an LFO, and I have an amp. And now I want a randomizer. Okay, and now I want like a string synthesizer. And now I want, but eventually that stops happening and you start finding that you don't use all of your modules and you start, trading those for different ones. And eventually you just get kind of comfortable. And I am kind of comfortable, but I do really want to see what else is out there and for the purpose of this channel. Man, the delay is so bad. Okay. Yeah, mountain bikes are not expensive. They're like, what was really funny is I don't know why I'm saying this on stream, but a couple weeks ago, I went to an intermediate mountain bike course, which to me, I thought like, all right, well, I've done some beginner ones and I'm pretty good. I can do it. I can I'm all right. I think intermediate will be fine. And I didn't realize that intermediate meant like 10-foot jumps, 20-foot jumps, maybe even in some sort of it was actually pretty crazy. And I was scared to death. But I noticed that I was just dying riding uphill, and I kept seeing every now and then I would see another bike rider it's particularly one guy, and he was just cruising around. He was just cruising up the hills, and I was just like, how can you possibly be that in shape to just ride fast uphill like that? Because I can barely do it without pushing my bike. I was, in the lowest gear, just huffing away, just couldn't catch my breath. Yeah. And I was so, I don't know. I was very discouraged. I was like, maybe mountain biking isn't for me. Maybe my body just isn't going to acclimate to this as well as it could some other sports, like boxing. I can acclimate to very well or something. And then I realized that he had an e-bike and he was cheating. Anyway, dumb story. Let's do one more generative patch here. Or what do you want me to do? Do you want me to stick here and do a generative patch, or do you want me to go on to the M8 tracker, the dark wave? I will wait the 20 minutes for the latency to hit the chat and let me know. All right. Oh, a bass patch. Yeah. Let's do a bass patch. Let's do a dirty, nasty bass patch. Did my Canon did it again. Canon. It just shuts off on its own. It's a very naughty camera. Or by naughty, I mean shit. All right. Okay. Mexico, is that what it said? All right, so you want a dirty bass patch on here. Yeah, okay, I got an idea. Well, let's use one of these new oscillators after all. I kind of like... move that LFO up to the wave or timbre, maybe. The cycling envelope. Actually, better yet, let's move the cycling envelope to cutoff. And then that can loop. And let's make an arpeggiator. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was the wicked bass that I had envisioned. Let's see if any of these presets have. I've literally never listened to the presets. I imagine if there are any like EDM-y dubby basses, they'll probably be early on in the presets because that's what the kids like. It's the kids in the Guitar Center want to hear. But maybe not. I don't know. Oh, that's dope. drums. Whew. I've heard about that isotope reverb. I will check that out. All right. We ready to move on to the mate? Because that's going to take a minute. I've lost about 100 viewers in the last. Yeah, I'm gonna make. Let me actually. Is this better of a voice level? Wait a minute. Okay, there we go. And I can lower this like so. When I hook up the mate tracker, M8, whatever it is, I think we're gonna actually let me mute this for right now, so we don't have to hear a bunch of buzzing as I switch cables around. All right, Microfreak, great job. Yeah, I'm surprised. Synth's been around for a minute. I'm pretty stoked that they continue to update the firmware for it. That is pretty rad of them. What do these cost? I know they're not like very terribly expensive. I know that for the money they're a whole lot. Anyway. Time for this feller. I know my friend Michael was watching this, and he is so excited to see me fail on this thing. Now he's a person who made me aware of this. Oh no, are we gonna have a little bit of ground looping? I hear ground looping. That's the sound that this thing makes when you turn it on. Okay. Let me enable that input. What? The Microfreak is $300? Is that right? Hold on. Wow, you get them from like Pro Audio Star for $260. Yeah, man. What a steal. I thought it was like $4. Amazing. Yeah, I would absolutely buy one of those. Again, if I didn't already have one. My serial number is 48 out of 100. All right, so let's look at this thing. So, be patient. Okay, please be patient with me, ladies and gentlemen. I do not know what I'm doing. Maybe I will lower this camera so you can better see what is going on. Whoop, hit my overhead. All right. Almost. It keeps hitting my boom. Okay, there we go. Better press a button somewhere on this cannon, otherwise it's gonna turn off on me again. Just don't know what button to press. There. Okay. So this is my dirty screened M8 tracker. Why? Why are you showing me this display, Canon? Okay. And I'm gonna play you a quick song that I made very briefly on it a while ago. The reason I have not played with this more is simply because I don't have time. That is 100% of the reason. It's not that I don't like it. I think it's actually a pretty cool and brilliant little... For what it is, I'm very, very impressed. But yeah, it is. There's a bit of a learning curve, and it's going to take a minute for even me to understand what's happening. So let's load a song called Ben Kibble and see how that sounds. And hopefully the volume's not too high. Let's find out. Nope. That's very quiet. Let's see if I could upload the speaker volume, raise the output volume. So these are my phrases. There's a kick drum phrase. Snare phrase. Oh, you know what? This is a bit dumb of me. This is stereo, and I have it going into one channel of the specular tempest here, which is not doing it justice. Oh, what should I do about this? I don't think I have... Timeout for one moment. I'm going to look in a drawer really fast to see if I have an adapter that would give you stereo out. If not, then never mind. My friend Mike here will answer any questions regarding how much it costs and features and stuff. He's actually here to tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I will certainly... Mikey303 is his name in the chat. All right, hang on. I'm going to see if I have a adapter to get this to be stereo without taking 20 minutes of setup. Un momento. Oh my God, I do. I do have an adapter. Let's mute this once again. Okay. Let me show you really fast while I'm doing this. So this has like audio in, audio out, and they're just sort of like stereo. and then MIDI in, MIDI out, and that just hooks up to a MIDI adapter, and then it has USB, which is how it charges, and also how you do things like updating the firmware, which I did yesterday. All right. Let's see how this sounds. Much better. Goodness. All right. The specular tempest is off right now, by the way. This is all internal reverb. This has chorus delay and reverb. And so again, that whole song. So this is, a lot of you are familiar with Polygon Tracker, and a reason why I didn't do a video on this yet is because I know that the inevitable question will be, should I buy this or the Polygon Tracker? And I just do not see them as competitors at all. I think that, like, a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but I feel like if somebody made music, like legitimate music back in the day, like the old IDM Tracker people, like Machine Drum and whoever else, and I feel like if you made music on trackers, and that was primarily the DAW that you used on PC, then the Polygon Tracker is 100% catering to those needs. And the Polygon Tracker is a freestanding DAW or sequencer. You can make full tracks using granular synthesis. I mean, it has like the FM radio, and it has so many different options. It has chords now. I feel like if you are coming from like a Game Boy tracking world, like, what was the Nano something? If you're coming from like the old school Game Boy tracking world, and if you're into chiptunes, I think that if you are into pocket operators, things like that, this is clearly what that is for. I could see this running as like a side cart to the Polygon Tracker if you wanted maybe some synth tracks on the side, and then you had all of your sample tracks on the Polygon Tracker. I could see that being really powerful. But as far as a competitor, like being a toss-up between the two, it's really like, do you want to work mostly on a device that fits in your pocket when you're, on the train or something, which nobody is in this year anyway, but do you want to do that? Or do you want to do you want to work in the studio, and do you want to control other synths and stuff? This does have MIDI out, but again, I think it comes down to like screen size and things like that. This is also touchscreen. One day I'll figure out where that is, where that's important at least. But yeah, this is a capacitive touchscreen. You can't like change the variables, but you can edit effects and stuff like that, like, I believe. Yeah, if you were ever making music on a DS, something like that, then like this is Nano Loop, okay, LSDJ, etc. You guys know what I'm talking about. You got this. Yeah, and the M8 can do direct sampling, but you're just not going to have like the wave editor and cut up controls that you have in something like the Polyon Tracker. Again, I think the reason I haven't done a video on this is because I think it inevitably, just the way that a lot of people view videos on gear is they start competing what they have with what else is out there. And I can see a lot of people who own trackers saying, well, why would I ever want this? And I just don't think that's a healthy way to look at it. I think that they both have their spot, and realistically, I don't think that, I can't place one above the other because they're just two, even though they're both trackers, that's the only thing they really have in common, because one is so portable and one is so built for a studio environment. So, I I feel like we're going to stick on this topic I know there's a wave editor in it, but like comparing it to the Polyend wave editor, you know what I mean? It's like it would be like, what's better for producing music? A laptop or a phone? So you could do both. Like you could use both. You could use one with the other even, but one is clearly going to be more precise and more compatible with other things, and one is going to be a lot more convenient and capable of being, taken with you on a flight or something like that, or, even just played with in bed without plugging it in. Speaking of plugging it in, I don't intend on doing that. I intend on playing with this before it runs out of batteries, which it never has, by the way. I think it has pretty good battery life. I have no idea what the rating is. I should have studied up on this stuff, but like I said, this week has just been a nightmare. And so here we are. Let's start a new project. All right, brand new. So now we got to start a new instrument. And this is where I run into issues. Not because of anything that's wrong with the device. It's just because I keep getting distracted with other things, and then I have to start my learning curve over. So I assume that now I have a phrase, cool, and now I have an instrument. So is this seeable? Can anybody see what's going on the screen? Okay, hold Option over a perimeter and then swipe. Your touch screen will be assigned to... Oh, nice. Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind for the future. All right. Let's look at our different options here. MIDI out, easy enough. Wave synth. I think that is pretty self-explanatory. Macro synth. So these are the mutable plates things. They have a new FM synth. And then you can also load pre-existing things, which maybe would be the best way to go. Like maybe we should just create a beat. Like here's a kick analog, and that's using macro synth. Okay. So I'm gonna make a phrase. I'm gonna go crazy. 4 on the floor. Lucy, you're awake. Lucy, do you want to say hi to everybody after your big operation? Oh, come here, baby girl. Come on. Oh, all right. Let's show everybody. Lucy. I'm sorry I didn't clean out your eyes before this. So Lucy has a swollen face. She had oral surgery. What do you think? How do you feel? You feel better? Oh. Yeah, see this right here? Sorry, I'm not pointing that. See this? A lot of people keep yelling at me for not making it in 1080p. I wish I could. I tried to, and it told me that I've been able to do it in the past, but I've tried to, but yeah, it just told me that my stream quality wasn't good enough. So, boo-hoo, Comcast. It should be in 720, but I can't go back now. You know what I can do though is I maybe can bring, I'm trying to think of a way to maybe bring this camera down. It'll be in front of my face, but I love that sound. It's beautiful. Okay, let's go. Bring this guy down. There. Take that. Now I'm gonna have to like make sure that this thing doesn't move. Look at that. Now you all can see what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's crank up the volume here. I remember how. Yeah. Oops. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this. Michael, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've That's too loud. That's about just right. Okay. So yeah, this is our bass, and we can add effects on it, very similar to every other tracker. This tells us like we have sequencer commands, like chants. This tells us, I feel like if I look at the screen I can actually see it a lot better from where I'm at. Instrument options. Yeah. Sure. That won't do anything here, but so now I want to load a new track. And this, quite honestly, is where I've, for some reason, I think it's this way. I think this is how you load a new track. Right? No, cancel. Yeah, this is where I was having some major issues when I was testing this out really fast. Is changing my instruments. New track and new phrase. Both is what I'm looking for. Yeah, and honestly, this is... It's like, for some reason, I don't know why, option plus right. Okay, great. No, that's not what I would. Oh, I could go to instrument 1. Okay, there we go. Now, beautiful. So let's just load something again for the sake of ease. That scared me. Lucy's on my lap now, by the way, just in case anybody was wondering. This is interesting. Just randomize a bunch of things. What just happened here? There we go. That's what I want to do. Yeah, this is just one of those things where it's like once you get used to it, you're golden. But if you know how to use this and you're watching me use it, you'll probably hate me. Okay, now I have to play both together. Nope. Oh, man. So does that happen in song, I assume? Stick with me, guys. Oh. I thought I figured it out. Dude, Lucy is sighing at me right now. She's just like, you are a loser. Why don't you do it then, Lucy? Okay. Yeah, I'm reading these comments. Trying to... Okay, so if I just... Oop. What have I done? I'm a loser. Create 2 chains in the song screen. Got it. Okay. So I should probably start over. Let's start over fresh. And it's funny because I have made, as you heard, I have made music here already. I wish the latency wasn't so low here. All right. So in song, I'm going to create 0. And then in chain, on grade 0. And then I have an instrument. And my instrument can be a, let's go with a bass, an FM bass. Fair enough. All right. I don't hear anything. Oh. What? What? Huh? Okay. That was intense. Oh, that sounds really nice. Okay, after you finish your bass pattern, go back to the song screen, make a chain, a new phrase, and a new instrument. Got it. Okay, song screen. Oh, that makes sense, I think. Okay, back to song. What did I do wrong? Oh dear, I'm dumb. See, I thought you were talking about horizontal, not vertical. Got it. Oops. Loose. There we go. Now if my kick wasn't the most pathetic sounding kick in the world. What do you see? Okay, I did it. I created a pattern. Woo! I wouldn't want this in Eurorack at all. No, I mean, I love this, but like the idea, I'm having enough trouble doing this with my hands on a table. Like, I just want to hold it in my hand, but I can't do that with you. You can't see what's going on if I do that. Eurorack with my hands, no way. Okay, so this track is poo. Garbage. We're gonna get rid of it. I'm not okay with this track. I'm not okay with this track being in a stream. But I figured out how to make a track, so that's good. So let's start over. Thank you again, Michael, for assisting me throughout this depressing process. And I am going to try and make a track that is, what is the word I'm looking for? Somewhat generative. Try and get a little bit more creative. But first I need to, there we go, instrument 0. All right, so let's create a wave synth. go. Okay. Oh, it's a pulse. Let's go with the saw. Bring that cutoff way down. Oh, that gets wild. Let's actually go with something a little less abrasive. I realize that's still abrasive, but there are some nice sounds. There we go, a triple sine. Lucy. How exciting, a sine wave. Ugh, why am I so dumb? There we go. All right, Michael, riddle me this. How would I go about making a, how would I go about changing the duration of a phrase if I wanted it to be 20, if I wanted it to, rather than it just being 16 steps, if I wanted it to be 20 steps? How would I go about doing that? And I realize that there's a large delay, so you will hear me ask this question in 2024. And in the meantime, I'll answer a question. Ben, how does the Mate feel to use? Do you like the keys? Do you like the feel of it? Yeah, I actually do. I've really liked the feel of it. Having it in my lap, like having it on the couch, is really nice. Like with just headphones plugged in. Big fan. I actually really, really dig it. Yeah. I've got none but positive things to say on that regard. Okay, go back to the chain screen and add a new phrase. Oop. Okay. Oh, that's right, I can just use hop. I actually don't need another phrase, do I, if I use hop? Wait. This is phrase. Okay. Nice. I'm going to work on this sound a little bit more. Okay. These are different FM operators, for anybody wondering what I'm doing here. And this is the different algorithms. All right, back to this. And then I can go back to another. And here I can use the hop command. Lucy. You want to go sit down? Aw, you and your swollen face. Very confused with what is happening at this point. I had my idea flowing, but my brain couldn't keep up with it or something. I don't know. Oh well. No, this. Whatever I made was not good. I'm gonna make a good track with this one day, I swear. It's gonna make 40 streams from now, but let's hear some of the demo songs. Let's hear what's possible before demos. All right. So this is what's actually wait, Ben 101. What is this? Here's something I made at some point. Oh, look at that. Yeah, if I could only have just made this today, this would have been a much better stream where you would have learned much more. Okay, let's load an actual demo. Oops, sorry. Just want it dry. So this is what's possible. Maybe I should actually load the song. Actually, let me turn down the volume. Oh no, what do I keep doing here with this lot? I keep changing, and I don't know how. Doing it. I keep changing live to song, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know how I keep doing this. It's bad though. I have no idea what's happening. And I can't stop anything. Alright. Oh, it's song again. Okay, no idea how that happened. Alright. I just want to change the volume. Yes. Okay, so this is what is possible. Wow. Yeah, that's epic, man. That's epic, and that's definitely like chiptune-y in the way that we all like. That is epic. I dig that. Yeah. So, how do y'all feel about it? I think it's pretty rad. I like it. I've played with it a bit here and there, and honestly, again, I think I already said this, but I think the reason why I don't know what I'm doing with it is merely because my time and schedule in the last like 3 months has just been completely bonkers. Try to move this back up above my head. Oh, there it goes down. This is my little gear camera. Yeah, my schedule's just been nuts, and so I've been unable to fully appreciate anything, and I have so much stuff, so much gear that I want to appreciate and spend more time on, but hopefully I will in the future. This next week is like the last of my really crazy times. All right, I am going to give myself 15 more minutes. Do you guys have any questions or anything in the meantime? Hope you enjoyed the Microfreak, by the way. They really can't believe that they're like on 3.0 of the firmware. This is a great example of why something like the key step would be a better investment than the Behringer Swing, even though it's $20 more. It's because Arturia are just OGs with the firmware. Man, they are nuts with the firmware. I sound like Donald Trump. Arturia has the best firmware. Everybody I know says that it's the best firmware. Really great firmware. Wonderful firmware. Beautiful firmware. No, but they really do update their firmware a lot in products that are old enough to where you would think that they would just be moving on to something else. But no, they actually add meaningful things to older stuff. The BeatStep Pro is a perfect example of that. It just keeps gaining features, and I've had it for ages. The Patreon link should be in the video description. The Arturia Creek keyboard. I have the Keylab. I have the Key Step. I have the Keylab. And the Polybrute, which I haven't even turned on yet. Unfortunately, I will turn it on very soon. I will turn it on very soon. But yeah, that's somewhere in the future. I just got that recently. You can use MIDI out on the Mate. It has MIDI in and MIDI out. Oh yeah, you asked how I don't know what keyboard you were referring to with the Creek, but I like all of my Arturia keyboards. The Key Step's just super convenient. The Keylab is just my desk keyboard. I like that. Honestly, I think I might, if I had more space on my desk, I would probably have the Yamaha Montage as my desk keyboard. It's my main driver. But just because I always have Piano Tech running or something like that, and with the Montage I could just have it on a patch. But the Montage is so big, it's so fat, that I can't really do that. I don't have a Push 2, but I don't really use Ableton all that much. I did a video where I tried to use it, where I spent a week learning it. You'll be frustrated to watch that if you're into it. I have not used my guitar to control the M8 or the Mate. I have not really used the Mate that much. You saw today how bad I am at getting used to it. I would look at some video as far as the Key Step Pro versus BeatStep Pro. I don't have a Key Step Pro. I'm trying to imagine it. But I assume that you might not need a BeatStep Pro. But the BeatStep Pro to me is like the ultimate sequencer for the price. It's really good. I like the randomization options on it. I think that if you search on my channel here, you'll see that when I reviewed the Microfreak, I used a BeatStep Pro to control it and to like use some of the random scale stuff, and you could sort of see the effect of that. As far as how the Patreon's going good. It seems to like it's reached its plateau, which is expected. Like I reached my Patreon plateau, and it's higher than I expected it to be. I thought that my plateau would have been, about 70% of what it is. So that's good. It's good. I'm about halfway to being able to do the existentialism thing, which is nice. Yeah. So it's good. I'm really glad I did it. In fact, to be a little personal, this month I've just incurred a bunch of really expensive costs just with like things like vet bills and health insurance premiums and some other stuff going on with like my family. And at the same time, TuneCore has like not paid me in a while, like with Spotify and YouTube revenue and stuff, for like my music on YouTube, not for this channel. And yeah, and like it's just kind of funny because I would actually be a lot more stressed out right now if I didn't start that Patreon. Like I really started it at the right time, just because this like. Yeah, basically there's like 10 different entities that have not paid me that should have paid me. Like just people are late in paying my invoices or whatever. And everything got stretched pretty thin, and Patreon actually came and kind of saved the day. So that's awesome. That's like really, I was just thinking about that today. I was just like going over my bills and stuff. I was like, Jesus, like I'm really glad I got Patreon. I would be really, I wouldn't be like homeless or anything, but I'd be stretched a lot thinner than I am comfortable with being stretched, living in a home and all that stuff. The reverb I'm using is a Specular Tempest on this. The synth Stom Deluge. The Deluge is yeah, I've never tried one. I feel like there's probably a learning curve with it. I had emailed the company ages ago, asking them if they wanted to do something on the channel, which is something I never do anymore. Just now because I usually have like a backlog of products for so long. But yeah, I emailed the company, and yeah, I don't know. They didn't seem interested, so they didn't seem to really. Yeah, I even offered to pay like the pay an industry rate for it or something, and they were just like, "Oh, good pitch, but no." And I was like, "All right, whatever." So yeah, I don't know. I know that the Deluge has like some very, I know that they have very dedicated followers. Like I know that it's a very popular thing, and it looks very cool. But it's kind of old now, isn't it? It's been around for a bit. I just wonder if it's now too late, like if they're going to do something new that I should just be waiting for now. It'd be like kind of me doing an Op 1 review now, where it's like everybody's already done every possible thing with the Op 1. So the review at that point would just be like, what does Ben think about the Op 1? Where, my initial reaction is like, who gives a shit? Like, why would anybody give a shit what I thought about the Op 1? But some of my people, some of my followers would probably be interested in that. But is that worth spending a whole bunch of money on an Op 1? Probably not. And is Teenage Engineering going to send me one? Probably not. So, I don't understand the question. You like being thick? Does that mean stupid? I kind of wish I do like being stupid sometimes. I'm just going to answer that in how I interpret it. There's two ways. You're either calling me fat or stupid. I like, I kind of, today I was just thinking about everything going on. For a second, I was thinking about like everything going on with the impeachment and stuff, and I hadn't caught up on it in like 3 days. Like I knew that there's impeachment vote. I heard it in the car, but I didn't read anything else. And I was kind of like, man, I like being ignorant. Like for 3 days. Like I like just being like, whatever. I'm too busy to think about politics for 3 days. As far as me being fat, I gain weight in the winter, I lose weight in the summer. If you watch my YouTube channel, you'll find out that I alter my body weight by about 30 pounds. I don't know why. It started with boxing and MMA. I used to go from 170 pounds to 205, which meant that I was walking around at like 230, and then I would cut all the way down to 170. Now it's obviously not that wide of a range, but for some reason, end of summer, I just stack calories, and then next Wednesday, I think, is my date to start going down, lose about 25 more pounds. So I'll be like all skinny for my video reviews in March. I don't know what thick means. Yeah, I realized that wasn't, I realized that probably wasn't asking if I was fat, but, yeah, that's part of mountain biking too. It's part of why I'm taking that up is because I'm so used to going to the gym, and now I'm like, I really need to find an exercise routine that isn't the Oculus Quest, because that just isn't doing it for me. Interviewing headaches. Ripped. Yeah, I'm definitely not ripped right now. I am a flabby pile of shit right now. I've been like Superman ripped in the past, especially back when I was fighting and stuff, but yeah. Not right now. Now I'm pretty flabbed. But like I said, next Wednesday, I start leaning up, and yeah. Did I enjoy fighting? No, I hated it. No, of course I enjoyed it. Otherwise I would never do it. I think that the what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like the consequences or the cons of fighting are pretty high when you consider traumatic brain injury and stuff. And even when you consider like ligament injuries, like when you consider like things that are just going to hurt me for the rest of my life from wrestling and stuff like that. Jiu-jitsu you don't really get that much with because it's more flowy and it's gentler. But things like wrestling where you're using like 100% power all the time. And then things like boxing where you're getting punched in the face all the time. I think there's a lot of consequences later in life. And even while you're doing it, you're constantly injured. So you really, really have to love the sport to do it. It's like one of those things where I would never recommend, a child to do it or something. I would never recommend anybody to do it unless they already wanted to, because I think that it's fundamentally one of the most dangerous things you could do. And yeah, but I don't regret it. I have a lot of aches and pains. I'm gonna do like a few more questions. A bicep tutorial. My biceps are so not big. Look at these. They're tiny. They're not big. They used to be. They're not big now. My legs are big from the biking, but that's about it. What are my thoughts on Ovation guitars? I like them. They're great. I don't think I have any. I have a lot of guitars, but I don't think I have an Ovation. There's not many guitar brands where I'm like, I like this brand of guitar. There's not many guitar models where I'm like, I like this model of guitar. I feel like it comes down to the guitar, especially if it's one that's not new, right? Because what humidity has it endured? What travel has it endured? How what hardware is on it? What hardware has been added to it? How's it been tuned up? How's it been treated? Guitars are such a shakeup. I've played $75 guitars that I've loved more than $5,000 guitars. Whoa, I hear a buzzing all of a sudden. Must be because I turned the... Oh, this thing ran out of batteries. Let me mute that. Da-da-da-da-da. There we go. Muted. Okay. I have not messed around with the Akai Iwi or the Roland Aerophone. I have the Tech breath control, MIDI breath controller. I did a video on that years ago. That's really good. There's a new one coming out, not from Tech, but from a new company. It's almost like a dev kit, and it's super cheap. It's really inexpensive. Apparently, they're sending one over. Just asking my opinion on it. I might do a short video. I might do a stream with it on there. I don't play anything that you blow into, really. I have a saxophone, but I'm not good at it. But I think that they're really good if you're using a sample library for horns or something like that, or reed instruments, because you really get a feel for what is possible with with a mod wheel. You can't really tell how long it would be before a player ran out of breath, or you can't really tell how long the attack would be or something like that. So if you want to make natural sounding horn sample library recordings, a breath controller really is helpful. Favorite mandolin brand? I have no idea. I don't. I have one mandolin and it sucks. I don't have a face tattoo. Yeah, the Hydrasynth video. I want to do more stuff like that for sure, and I definitely will. My next video is going to not be the most professional. I think I'm going to, the next video I'm going to try and complete in 2 days, just because this weekend I have a lot of family stuff going on, and early next week I do, and then after that I have more time on my hands, and I'm working on a much bigger project that's much more professional, and so I'm kind of trying to, since the Patreon, I think I'm already taking advantage of okay, this one I could just ask people what they want. I could do this. And then for the bigger projects, I can actually work on it longer and make it more organic and not have some sort of algorithm anxiety, YouTube algorithm anxiety. What else do we have? I don't know what as far as the breath controller thing you're talking about, the Tech is the one that I already reviewed it. The new one coming out, I'm not supposed to really talk about it. I probably shouldn't even mentioned it. It's it's still in development. Yeah, I have a sitar. If you listen to some of my earlier albums, I have a lot of sitar music. Not with a lot of sitar music. I use it in a lot of my music. And I thought somebody was saying my Patreon's severely lacking. I was like, oh no, am I not doing it right? I've been trying to do a post every day or two of something. It's kind of funny because I'll just be going through a drive and I'll be like, oh yeah, reactor patch. Oh, I bet I'll post this. The Discord is active for the tracker, by the way, for the mate tracker. I just see that it's always active. I never actually, I can't really, I'm having enough trouble engaging in my own Discord. Where do I get the different types of Polyan perk striker materials? What do you mean, the things that you put on the striker? You know what I used? The things that go on the bottom of chair legs, or the sticky things that you put on the bottom of something you want to just stick to a surface. Basically just search for sticky rubber base or sticky rubber bottom. I also have some felt ones just for furniture. Yeah, there's things that you could put on the bottom of the legs of a couch or something that are felt, and then it just allows you to move the couch and push it around. I don't know why anybody would use that, because then when you sit in the couch, it just moves. But yeah, I bought some of those just at a Home Depot and put those on the perks. And I had to cut them out to fit perfectly, but they worked like a charm. They worked apps. Richard Devine does the same thing. with his. All right, one more question. Oh yeah, the aluminum ones. I would email. I would maybe email them. I don't know how overloaded they are with emails right now, but the aluminum ones seem to be the least popular because they're just so sharp that really making a sample out of it, because those perks hit hard. I believe when I did my first video with the perks, I hit one in my forehead, like just to test it, and it was really funny because the next day I just had this round bruise. Like, those things are really powerful, so I imagine aluminum would just, I don't know, I'm sure for sound design it's probably good, but for music it's probably not that appropriate. All right, one last question here. Would you recommend Moog Grandmother Matriarch as a starter for getting into synthesis? I'm thinking. My mind is changing now on what I think is a good starter for getting into synthesis. If you asked me this question 4 years ago, that would the Moog Grandmother would be like the perfect synthesizer for this, right? Because it's just like your basic subtractive synthesizer. But I'm starting to see, I think like a lot of this comes from like last year when I was at NAMM. My wife was with me, and or like when I ran the music school, I got to see the world of synthesizers through children's eyes, or through somebody's eyes who isn't into this already, right? Somebody who isn't me, who's like, basically just looking at the features of something. And I think that changed a lot. I feel like the Grandmother would be a good introduction to the Moog subtractive style of synthesis, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to like. I honestly think that a good introduction would be something that you were really going to spend a year learning, something you're going to dive into, like even a hydrosynth, right? Because you could play a hydrosynth. It has all of the types of oscillators you would want, has wavetables, has deep FM. It's not that expensive for what it is. It's probably the same price as like a Grandmother. It has effects on board, and you could go through the presets and you could play vastly different styles of music with it, and you could feel different things. You're going to be more inspired to play and learn chords if you don't already know that. And I think ultimately your journey is going to be a longer one with that synthesizer. You're just going to be playing it more, and as a result, when it comes time to upgrade, or when it comes time to go into modular or anything like that, you're going to kind of already know what everything is. You're going to know what to expect. And so it's like there is a learning curve, but don't you want one when you're trying to learn something? Like, learning curves are okay if you're like trying to learn something that is potentially very complicated. Yeah, I think it, but yeah, something like the hydrosynth with the polyphonic aftertouch and stuff like that, it is pretty self-explanatory. Another one is, it's obviously priced a little bit higher than most people would want to start out, but like that Arturia Polybrute is a really nice, like, covers all the bases, and then is very interactive, has lots of knobs and stuff like that. Yeah, the Microfreak, where I started the stream with, that's a great one. The Crave is okay. I like the Mother 32 better. I know that the Crave is kind of Mother 32-y. I like the Mother 32 better, I think, than the Crave. I just feel like it's more inspiring for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. All right. It's 10:09. I told myself I'd be done by 10. I can't keep streams on time. I'll be back next week. I will most likely have a video out before then anyway. So you'll be seeing a lot of me in the near future. Thank you everybody for watching. As far as, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, the reason I do these streams, these weekly streams, is part of my Patreon. I put a poll in my Patreon asking people if they wanted the streams to be private and exclusive to them, since they were the ones, paying for it. And they said, nope, make it public. So thank them. They're very cool people. And if you want to join the Patreon, go for it. You get the Discord community, seems to be on fire all the time. I'm really happy with the way it's going. I feel like it's a very cool thing, and I'm really happy with the way, really excited about things that I see coming in the future. I'm gonna start thinking about a game server soon. All right, guys, thank you so much, and have a good weekend, and see you next week. Bye.